With Save Stanton Chapter 2 here, it's time to take a look at which factions you can choose in this event. For this event, in addition to the Citizens for Prosperity, or CFP, and Headhunters, there's a new faction called the Frontier Fighters. If you want to know more about the CFP and Headhunters, I made a video about them which you can watch after this video. The first time you heard about the Frontier Fighters was in Save Stanton Chapter 1. In Phase 4, you had to do cargo hauling missions for CFP and or Frontier Fighters. The Frontier Fighters come from Stan, and they hate everyone in Pyro. Well, technically everyone hates each other, but basically the Frontier Fighters think the CFP are too squishy to be effective, and the Headhunters are the same as any other outlaw gang, and their main goal is to protect Stan from Pyro, and the way they plan to do that is to genocide everyone in Pyro, because they believe that system is beyond saving. First, to do Save Stan Chapter 2, you need to be in the Pyro system. If you're in Stan, you won't even notice the Save Stan event is happening, despite the event being named Save Stan. And unlike the mercenary stuff where you can just switch sides whenever you want, for this event, if you pick a side, you have to commit to it. For example, if you pick CFP by doing a CFP mission, you're ride or die with the CFP. You can't change your mind. So knowing that, again, I won't tell you which side to choose. That is up to you. But let's look at the missions each side offers. For CFP, they seem to be the easiest, but also the lowest paying. All their missions involves transporting a small amount of cargo to their outposts. For Headhunters, one of their missions involves clearing an outpost. Now if you'll notice, the outpost mentioned in the mission, which in this case is Ashland, is actually one of theirs. So I'm assuming there's gonna be allies there that you're not supposed to harm. Just to make sure, I re-logged into the game, and the outpost in the description is now Ostler's Claim, which again is one of their outposts. So I'm assuming this mission, even though it says clear outposts, primarily means protecting their outposts. Another mission worth almost 300k involves attacking a convoy of supply ships and their escorts, belonging to the Frontier Fighters. Looking at Frontier Fighters, their 240k mission involves flying to an outpost or asteroid base and killing everyone there. Their 278k mission involves flying to an asteroid base, but this time, destroying all the fuel cells there. Now for all these missions, every one of them mentions in the last or second last paragraph that you can't share these contracts. So you can't do them with a friend, and they must be done alone. Presumably so players don't end up doing missions for multiple sides of this event and cheesing the reputation rewards. Again, CIG wants you to commit to one side. So for this video, I decided to side with the Frontier Fighters. This is mainly to see what would happen with your relationships with the CFP and Headhunter factions in the game. Before I did that though, I did a couple missions with those factions to get some rep with them in case anything happens with the rep if I side with anyone for this event. Sometimes, if you did both Headhunter and CFP missions, the Frontier Fighter missions won't load. That's also happened to me, but don't worry, they'll eventually show up. If not, restart your game. Once I've picked a mission, you'll notice that the priority tab will disappear, so you can't both sides it. Now if you have a change of heart or whatever, don't worry, you can simply abandon the mission and the priority tab will reappear with one less mission without a rep hit to anyone. But of course, to participate in this event, you have to complete a mission. So I'm gonna do Purge Pyro Destroy Fuel Supplies. For this mission, I had to travel to Gaslight Station. From there, I had to quantum to RAB Sierra. Once you fly to the exterior of the asteroid base, 12 fuel tanks will be marked for you to destroy. Despite the presence of enemy ships and turrets, I was not attacked once by either of them, which may be one of those classic Star Citizen bugs, or maybe it's intentional to make those missions easier to test. I don't know, and I don't really care. During this mission, I may have flown into the asteroid a little too hard, broke half my ship and started spinning out of control, but I came back and eventually got it done. After a brief scare and a prayer to Chris, my game unfroze and I am now officially confirmed to be a Frontier Fighter in the PTU. You don't need a ship to destroy these fuel tanks though. You can also use hoverbikes, which would be easier because no ship would target you, or even a gun like a pistol. So now that I've joined the Frontier Fighters, have I become a pariah in Pyro? Well, let's find out. Back at Gaslight Station, looking at my rep, I've indeed become hostile to both CFP and Headhunters, but the rep bar remains unchanged. And if I look at the missions, despite being hostile to both factions, I can still do missions for both of them, which thematically is weird, but gameplay wise it's understandable. If joining Frontier Fighters shuts you out of mercenary or other missions in Pyro, no one would join them, so it makes sense. Obviously I'm only able to do Frontier missions now for this event. The other mission is Punish Outlaws. All you do is go to a remote outpost and kill everyone there. Pretty simple. In this instance, I was tasked to go to an outpost near Jackson Swamp and kill all outlaws. Now the wrinkle is that Jackson Swamp is a CFP outpost, and so would be the surrounding area. So I'm not sure if I'm killing outlaws or CFP people, but I think they're CFP. So if you have any affinity with CFP or headhunters and don't want to ruin your work with them, it might be a good idea to double check whether or not you are heading to a CFP or headhunters outpost. Currently, if I check my journal, I've done 2 out of 6 Phase 1 missions, which are those 2 frontier missions I showed. Like Save Stanton Chapter 1, there will be multiple phases in this event, each with their own set of missions that you can do. Because this is the first phase, these are the only missions you can do, depending on what factions you choose. And if it's like Chapter 1, a new phase will unlock every week or sooner. Once the last phase is out, I'll probably make a more definitive video of each faction and all the missions you can do with them. So subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss out on that video, especially if you're still undecided. I don't have multiple accounts though, so I'm hoping the upcoming Coremore event has a free fly so I can create new accounts and try out the other factions without giving Chris Roberts more money, although this is assuming the game works. Otherwise, I might have to use other people's videos. There's still a couple more tests I want to do. Since I've joined the enemy of both factions, what happens if I go to their outpost? After all, I'm marked as hostile despite having positive red bars for both of them. Well, to find out, I went to a headhunter outpost called Arid Reach in Monox. When I first approached, there was no indication that there was anything abnormal. There was the green text, but no trespassing indicator, and as I landed, I did not see anyone firing at my ship. As I got on my ship, I thought, maybe there's no consequences to joining Frontier Fighters, so I made a beeline to the first headhunter I saw. Oh fuck, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit! Chill, chill, chill! Okay, I don't think they like me. So yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. I can't even shop there now. But just in case, I also went to a CFP outpost, Sunset Mesa, and what's weird is that the civilians don't seem to mind me, but the soldiers or security dudes were less than thrilled that I showed up. And that's to be expected. If you join their enemy, then of course they're not gonna like you, and it'll probably stay that way for the entire duration of this event. I also tested to see what it's like to do mercenary missions for them. For the remote outpost assistance mission, initially it was business as usual, and then green arrows popped up which usually indicates allies, but then one of them started shooting at me. At first I ignored him cause I didn't want to fail the mission, but no more enemies showed up so I had to kill the ally, and surprisingly, he counted as a hostile, so I guess I can kill in self-defense now. I eventually completed the contract, improved my rep, but it didn't make CFP like me more. They still shoot on sight, so I decided to try one of the flip missions and become a headhunter. After completing Catch a Word real quick, I checked my reputation and it says I've become an ally for headhunters. Maybe this time I can go to headhunter outpost without getting shot at now. So I go to Oslo's claim to test this. I go into one of the buildings and so yeah, they still don't like me. Probably doesn't help that I killed their dog. Despite being a quote-unquote ally of the headhunters, because I joined Frontier Fighters for Chapter 2, it looks like I won't be able to visit any outposts without getting shot on sight regardless of my rep with them. I can still do missions for them, but some of them are gonna be less practical. Like, I don't think I can do salvage missions without getting shot at now. So if you want access to outposts without people shooting at you, signing with the Frontier Fighters may not be the best option. There is also the rewards. If you complete Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, you'll get ship liveries depending on what faction you side with, which should already be on screen. Now some people asked on Spectrum if there was a way to get all of them. I don't know a way to get all of them other than doing Chapter 1 and 2 on 3 different accounts. Also, if you complete Chapter 2 before 4.0.2 goes live, you'll get this exclusive Ripper SMG, which looks kinda sick. I wonder how you can buy ammo for it. I wouldn't bring it with me to the contested zone though. I don't want to lose it. So that's what the event is like from the perspective of the Frontier Fighters. As for the other factions, I mean again the CFP missions seem to be the easiest out of all the factions, but are also the lowest paying. For headhunters, they have the only mission that involves ship-to-ship combat, but I'm pretty sure you can use hoverbikes to make it easier. And then there's defending their outposts, which for headhunters isn't what they normally do. Interestingly, both headhunter missions involves fighting the Frontier Fighters. Right now, Phase 1 is mostly Frontier Fighters and headhunters just duking it out with each other, while CFP is like, hey, we're here too guys, we do things, come move boxes with us. Hence, if you value going to any of the CFP or headhunters outposts in Pyro, it is something to keep in mind when choosing who you want to side with in this event. And that's everything I know about the factions in Save Stanton Chapter 2 so far. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe and ring that bell. You may have noticed I spent most of the video talking about Frontier Fighters, and that's because they are the newest faction, and there were a lot of things that I want to know and try out, and I'm sure you guys want to know too. I was kind of forced to pick the Frontier Fighters in the live servers because I thought I had more time in the PTU. Turns out no, CIG just decided to throw it out early, and as usual it's buggy as hell, and they had to release an immediate hotfix. So Pyro outposts are gonna be more of a pain in the ass for me until 4.0.2 comes out, hopefully. But know that I did this for you. And it sucks for the people who haven't finished Chapter 1 yet, cause they had very little warning. But then again, they did have over 2 months to finish it, so I don't know. It is what it is. In the meantime, if you want to know more about the other 2 factions in Pyro, Citizens for Prosperity and Headhunters, then I highly recommend you watch this video right here.